Jai Hind everyone. My name is Niharika Tripathi, working as assistant professor at AKGEC Engineering College. Today I will be discussing about Hive, HBase and PIC. It is a topic in data science, CSE data science, third year, 6M, Big Data and Analytics subject KDS 601. So basically, in the previous slides, we have studied about Apache Hadoop. Hadoop is a framework that is used to handle or analyze the big data that is coming from the various sources from the internet. So HBase, Hive, and PIC, they are the frameworks in Apache Hadoop. They are basically HBase is a database management system. So like a database, like in RDBMS, we studied about what is a database. Database that is used to handle the data, that is used to access a process when you want to store data, that we use database. So now HBase, what is HBase? HBase is a distributed column oriented database. Now here the term is column oriented, means the data will be processed in column wise, stored and processed column wise. So it is a column oriented database built on top of the Hadoop file system. It is a framework of HDFS, that is Hadoop Distributed File System. It is an open source project and is horizontally scalable. It is a data model that is similar to Google's Big Table, designed to provide quick random access to huge amount of structured data. Now here the term is structured data. It is Google's Big Table. It is a framework, that is a database system for Google that is used to handle structured data. But here we need to process the unstructured data. So we use HBase. It leverages the fault tolerance provided by Hadoop Distributed File System. It is the part of Hadoop ecosystem that provides random real-time read-write access to data in the Hadoop file system. One can store the data in HDFS either directly or through HBase. Now architecture, as we can see here, client, the person from where the request will be coming. There are different region servers where the data is processed, and in between there is a zookeeper. Basically it is we will be studying in the next coming slides about zookeeper also. Basically it is used to handle the data between the client and the HBase server. So basically what is, first of all, as we can see here, the first is the framework master server, the main server we can say, and the region server. The master server is subdivide the data into region servers. Like in Hadoop HDFS, we see name node, there is a single name node and multiple name node, data nodes are there. So in the same way, there is a master server and multiple region servers are there. So basically what is a master server? A master server is the main servers that handles the load balancing of the regions across region servers. It unloads the busy servers and shifts the region to less occupied server. It will basically, a master server, it is the main task of master server is to assign the task to the various region servers. Region servers, basically we can say these are the data nodes that is used to handle the data. In the same way, region servers are there. Master server will assign will assign task to the region server. They will process this task, and how this will be done? Through the client will first send a request to the master server that I need to store this type of data. So what how the client will send the request? Through Apache Zookeeper. Now after handling the data, the data will be coming to the master node. The master server will decide to whom region server I have to send the data, I have to process the data. It will see the busy, it will look for the database which are the busy servers. It will check it and then it will shift the task to the less occupied servers. It maintains the state of cluster by negotiating the load balance. Is responsible for schema changes and other metadata operations such as creation of tables and column families. Now what are the regions? We have studied about the master. Next is the regions. Regions, basically they are used to process the applications. They communicate with the client and handle the data related operations. It handles the read and write request for all the regions under it. decides the size of the region by following the region size thresholds. Now next is Zookeeper. Like we studied in the architecture, there is a intermediate between the client and the master server, or you can say HBase. So the main the in between there's a Zookeeper lies. So Zookeeper is basically it will handle the communications between the client and the HBase server. So it is a distributed coordination service that helps to manage a large set of hosts. It manages and coordinates a service, especially in a distributed environment. Is a complicated process. So Zookeeper solves this problem due to a simple architecture as well as API. It allows developers to focus on the core application logic. It is very simple, reliable, it has very high speed, it works at a very high speed, scalability, it has high scalability. Now, HBase data model, how we form the tables, how we store the data in the HBase data model. So basically the data model is HBase is designed to accommodate semi-structured data that could vary in field size. Now here, as we studied in the previous slide, that database is used to handle Google's big data. Google's big data model is used to handle structured data, but here HBase data model will handle semi-structured, the data that is structured as well as unstructured data. So that could vary in field size, data type and columns. Now we can see here there is a row key, customer, sales. So now here the data is stored in various columns. So we can see here the entity is the customer and sales, and along these entities we store the data. We store different columns. We process the data in form of columns. So first is the name. Here different columns are name, city. These are the column family. So the first column is one, customer. It have families, name and the city. In the same way, a sales column 2, it has a family, product and the amount. So we process the data in the form of the columns. Now various components of the data ball. First is a table. A collection of the rows and column. Row is an instance of data in the table. We can see, we have seen in the previous slide, this is a row 101. This first row, second row, third row, fourth row. Now, column families, we have seen in the previous slide that these are the column families, customer and the sales. Now, columns. Columns means the columns, the data, if the data is stored in these forms, there was a customer, sales, now here the name and the city. These are the two columns. In the same way, price was there, amount. These were the columns for the columns. Now cell. A cell is a basically collection of the rows and the columns. So a cell stores the data and is essential a unique combination of row key, column family and the column. So the data stored here. The intersection point of the rows and columns is the cell. Now here next is the version. The data stored in a cell is versioned, and versions of data are identified by the timestamp. So what is a timestamp? Basically, first of all, the default value is 3. Now what is a timestamp? So basically timestamp means how many values, how many updations it can accept, how many or it will the different versions are allotted by a different timestamps is there. They are given some timestamp time, and then after that timestamp the value will be, if you add further updations in the file, the previous versions of the file will be deleted. For example, like whenever you are accessing your Gmail account or any account, you save the password, and every time you change your password. So every time you change your passwords, automatically it will be updated on the server side also, if you update your password. So now what will happen? Now whenever you are changing your password, if the value exceeds 3 by 3, if it is like default version is 3, means 3, after that if you will make the updations, 3, the previous values will previous passwords will got deleted and the newly updated passwords will be there. So basically it will replace the old versions, older values. Now this was all about HBase. Next is Hive. Basically, Hive is a data warehouse, or you can say DBMS, that like SQL or OpenSQL we talk. So it is a data warehouse infrastructure tool to process the structured data in Hadoop. It resides on top of the Hadoop to summarize big data and makes querying and analyzing easy. Here it is a Hive is a tool to process the structured data, not unstructured. It will process the structured database. Now we need to there are myths about Hive that that it is RDBMS. It is a part of RDBMS, but no, it is not a relational database. It is a design for OLTP transaction, that is online transaction processing. It is a language for real-time queries and row-level updates. No, these are not the features of the Hive. The Hive is basically, it stores that schema in the database and process data into HDFS. It provides SQL type language. Now here it will use query language. Apart from SQL, it will use HiveQL, that is HQL, that is Hive query language, that is used to process the structured data in Hadoop. It is fast, scalable and extensible. Now here we can see the architecture of the Hadoop. Now the first is here we will study about what is a Metastore. The main part, the various components are there. The first is the HDFS, that is Hadoop Distributed File System, and there is a user interface which includes web user interface, Hive command line, HD Insight. Now in between there is a Metastore and Hive Process SQL engine, execution engine and MapReduce. So we will study about these components in detail. So what is a Metastore? Basically, Metastores will store the information about the data in the table. It stores metadata for each of the tables like the schema and location. It includes the partition metadata. This helps the driver to track the process. Now here the driver is there that is used to process or handle all the requests. So it is used to track the progress of various data sets distributed over the clusters. It stores the data in a traditional database format. Basically, metadata will store the information of the table. Next is the user interface, the framework where from where the user interacting with the HDFS or any basically your machine. Hive is a data warehouse infrastructure software that creates interaction between the user and the HDFS. The user interfaces that Hive supports are Hive Web UI, Hive Command Line and Hive HD Insight. Next is the driver. Now driver is the controller for all, which will handle which will receive the statements, which will basically queries will be received by the driver, and then it will start executing the queries by creating the sessions. It monitors the life cycle and progress of the execution. It will monitor each and every process. It stores the necessary metadata generated during the execution of a HiveQL statement. Now next is a compiler. Basically, compiler will perform, or we can say will execute all the queries that are written by that are being processed by the driver. Now compiler, it performs the compilation of the HiveQL. This converts the query to an execution plan. The plan contains the task. It also contains steps needed to be performed by the MapReduce. It will also include MapReduce framework that will execute the task. MapReduce will execute a task in the form of map and the reduce. Now compiler will convert the queries into abstract syntax tree, or it will create a directed acyclic graph for processing the queries. Next is Hive Process Engine. Basically, it is processing engine that will create a schema or the structure of the queries, Hive queries. Next is the execution engine. The consumption part of HiveQL process engine and MapReduce is Hive education engine, where the processes, all the queries processed by the driver and compiled, it will be executed, or the results will be generated in the execution engine. Now last is HDFS or HBase, that is the Hadoop Distributed File System or the database that will store all the files in their file system. Now how the queries are executed. There are different types of operations in the Hive. First is execute query. Now Execute query. The Hive interface such as command line or web UI sends query to the driver. They will execute query. Will all the queries will be after the driver executes the query. The interface, the command line interface of where we are writing the commands, they will be sent to the driver. The driver will check all the commands. Now here the drivers can be JDBC, ODBC or etc. So they will execute the query. So the first step is, here the driver is there. This is the user interface. Now all here whatever the query is written in the command line interface or any other software program, they will be sent to the driver. The first step is to send to the driver. Now next is get plan. Now driver will take the queries, that passes the query. It will check the syntax. So the next step is to check the syntax, that whether the query is written according to the syntax or not. Now get the metadata. Now metadata means the compiler sends metadata requests to Metastore. Now here the work of compiler comes. The compiler, what it will do, it will check it will be send a request to the Metastore to check the information about the data, about the database, where to store, if the value exists in the database or not. Now send metadata. Now the Metastore will send the response to the metadata about the data Metastore, that this type of data exists or not. All the information about data will be sent by the Metastore. Now next is the send plan. Now next step is, after this process, that what is the query, what are the status of the data query. Now here the compiler will check that if it will send the response sent by that. Now compiler will send response sent by the metadata to the driver. Now it will now compile the program now. So this was all about. Now after doing this, all the process will be executed. So the next is the components of the Hive. First is Hive client, Hive services, processing and resource management, distributed database. Now what is a Hive client? Basically the client means the client application or the interfaces where the user is running any user is used to handle the Hive command. So basically Hive supports applications written in any languages like Python, Java, C++, Ruby, using JDBC or ODBC. Now they are categorized into three types: Thrift client, JDBC and ODBC. The Thrift client is a server based on Apache Swift, so that it can serve the request from a Thrift client. Next is the JDBC client. Now JDBC client, Hive allows for the data applications to connect to it using the JDBC driver. The JDBC driver uses Thrift to communicate with the Hive server. Next is the ODBC. ODBC allows the applications based on the ODBC protocol to connect to Hive. Next, the services provided by the Hive are Beeline, Hive Server 2, Hive Driver, Hive Compiler, Optimizer, the processes we studied in the previous slides. Now next is the processing and the resource management. How the process will be executed. So for use, basically generally we use MapReduce to process all the applications. The MapReduce framework is used in Hadoop to process all the applications. So Hive internally uses a MapReduce framework as an actual engine for executing the queries. MapReduce is a software framework for writing those applications that process a massive amount of data in parallel on the large clusters of commodity hardware. Basically, it will map the work of how the MapReduce processes the applications. It will split the task into multiple chunks, and then individually the task will be handled by the map function, and then after all the processing, the results will be sent to the reduce. The reducer will check all the results and reduce the data in a simple format. Next is the distributed storage, where the data will be stored in the HDFS. Now Hive shell. Now what is the meaning of Hive shell? Basically how we interact with Hive. It is a default service in Hive. It is also called command line interface. It is used to similar to MySQL shell. It can run SQL queries in the Hive shell. So there are 3 types of Hive shell, 2 types. Non-interactive mode and the interactive mode. Now here the non-interactive mode means that the commands we will write in the command line interface, and then they will be executed in the then we call those commands using the command line. Now interactive mode, we just write in the terminal option, we write, there is a terminal in any operating system, we write the command Hive and directly the query will be processed. So this was all about Hive. Thank you very much.